Hey everyone, welcome back to the Waste World podcast. I'm your host, Gage Edwards, and I know this episode is a day late. It is because I have been traveling so much, I couldn't schedule this one out in advance. And when I went to record this podcast yesterday, they were doing service on the internet in my neighborhood all day long, which means I had no internet all day yesterday. And let me tell you, after spending 2 weeks in Las Vegas, unable to work from your home office, and then being not able to work from your home office again because of the internet being out, that was a real pain. But back in the office, back with my equipment, so this should sound better than I would be on the road. And I am fully connected to the internet now, so I can do the proper file transfers and editing I need to do. Thank goodness we are here. And we're going to be recapping today. Today is just me on the podcast. Again, I was out those 2 weeks, so I had nothing lined up for today, but we're working on getting other people on the podcast for next week, and hopefully we'll have something fun for you guys. I do have some other travel coming up too, so let's hope that it can all be taken care of before I'm back out on the road again. But let's talk about what I was covering while I was out. The ReMA conference in Las Vegas. I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas this month, and I'm just getting back from that, and it was a pretty fun show. I have never been to the ReMA conference, formerly ISRI, where people come together for the show floor, for the education, for the fun bits of the show, the networking, just having a good old time. You know, it's like any other recycling waste management show that I go to. Everyone just is really dedicated to the craft in this industry, and ReMA was no different. So a lot of good conversations over there, a lot of good coverage that you can find at waste360.com from myself. A couple articles up there with some key insights into things like policy, AI, what's happening, sustainability for the industry, and recycled materials. Lots of good stuff. And you know, ReMA, we have these leaders across the recycling industry and coming together at a place like the ReMA conference and other conferences, of course, to talk about challenges, opportunities, and realities. That's what's shaping business now. Those in-person conversations, these meetings of the minds to make sure that we're all on the same page, sharing new technologies, new methods of doing things. That is what's getting us to where we're going. A few themes stuck out at ReMA. And, you know, they're not just talking points. So this is like real operational strategic pressures companies are dealing with every day. At the top of that list, lithium-ion batteries. I can't go to a conference without hearing about lithium-ion batteries for good reason. The dangerous little buggers that they are. That is going to continue for a while, so get used to that one. Also, ongoing uncertainty around policy and regulation. I mentioned that at the top of the show, where there's a article on waste360.com about policy that I wrote up from ReMA. You should check that out. And the evolving role of AI and technology in recycling operations. Just like lithium-ion batteries, this topic's not going away. This is still an important one. While it's not as dangerous as lithium-ion batteries, but it is something we need to continue talking about and will command a lot of space at these conferences and conversations like this. We've had episodes of the podcast on it, articles on the website about AI. It is here. And it's not just here as in like a doom and gloom way, but a way that's going to have actionable application in this industry. So let's talk about some of that stuff. Moving into industry, the complexity is increasing. A clear takeaway from the conference is that the recycling industry is being more complex, both operationally and strategically. Companies are navigating rising expectations around sustainability and material recovery, increased contamination challenges, rapid technology advancements. If I could talk, that'd be great. And a policy landscape that continues to evolve in different speeds across regions. You know, we're seeing other states come online faster than others with EPR. So what's that creating? That's creating a lack of uniform direction. And that's something that was talked about at ReMA. Some organizations are investing heavily in automation and AI. Others are focused on optimizing existing operations and some are taking a more cautious approach, waiting for clearer policy signals before making large-scale investments. The divergence is shaping how the industry is evolving in real time. And we're seeing that month by month, sometimes week by week, year over year, of course. That shift is happening, and as new things come online, new administrations kind of take over and prioritize other things, it feels a little disjointed at sometimes. It feels a little like stateside, nation side on policy is kind of getting in the way of each other, but we all have to work together. Something that is featured in the policy article on waste360.com. You'll read there. I mean, come on, guys. It doesn't need to be this complex, but there's a lot out there. So I guess we do need a lot of rules. We do need a lot going on. And something that specifically needs rules, something that is a bipartisan issue, lithium-ion batteries, which continues to be a growing operational and safety challenge. Lithium-ion batteries. I'm going to say it as many times as I hear it at ReMA or at other conferences. Lithium-ion batteries. One of the most urgent and widely discussed issues. Urgent for sure. It's not like it's a new thing, but I think people are more privy to the fact that they own a lot more batteries than they thought they did, and they're probably causing more fires than they thought they did. Speaking of, operationally, the risks are significant. We are talking fires. Fire incidences in your MRFs, in your trucks, in people's homes. These things are just blowing up because of improper storage, improper use, damage to equipment and infrastructure, safety concerns for employees, costly downtime. All of that stuff leads to money lost, lives lost, potentially with the safety concerns. This is a costly business. Ruling out lithium-ion battery issues is going to save a lot of money and a lot of time and keep people safe on the front lines, which is, of course, the most important part. The challenge is that these batteries are entering the recycling stream unintentionally. People don't know. They're often embedded in consumer products that are improperly disposed of. People don't know. The education has to exist on lithium-ion batteries. It's not an isolated issue. It's systemic. Like it's just what it's happening. Like there's ways around it. There's big conversations around it. We have to keep doing something. The issue touches product design and labeling, consumer education and behavior, collection and drop-off infrastructure, and facility level processing capabilities. It's clear that the industry is still largely reacting to the problem rather than preventing it upstream. But we have to get ahead of this. Addressing lithium-ion battery risks will require better alignment across the value chain. That's from manufacturers and retailers to policymakers and recyclers. Every step of the way, we have to be responsible for what these things are, because we're going to lose more lives, and we don't want to do that. We're going to lose more operational time and money. You don't want to do that. Without that coordination, the frequency and severity of these incidences are likely to continue increasing. So that's why the conversations at ReMA and other conferences is so important. Lithium-ion batteries. It's the poster boy of like, hey, we got to do something. We were doing something. We needed the Captain Planet episode. We need the Magic School Bus episode on lithium-ion batteries. Bring them back for a special episode. Woodsy the Owl is back and touting that, hey, skip the bin, recycle these things properly. I forget the motto. That's probably not exactly what he says. He probably says it more eloquently than me. But, that's the issue. That is a big one. Leading into that, as policy may help with those lithium-ion batteries, policy and regulation. This is a moving target. It's a major focus, and it was a major focus at ReMA, and it remains to be one of the most challenging variables for the industry as we're watching a constant shift, it feels like. There's no shortage of activity with policy. We're looking at EPR programs. They're expanding. Packaging regulations are evolving. States are moving at different speeds with different approaches So for companies operating in multiple markets, this is creating a fragmented environment. The core issue is predictability. Recycling infrastructure investments are long-term by nature, but policy frameworks are often short-term, inconsistent, or still in development. The disconnect it makes is difficult for companies to plan capital investments, scale new technologies, and align operations with future regulatory requirements. At the same time, policy has the potential to be a powerful driver of progress. Like if we're seeing well-designed policy that can improve material quality, that can reduce contamination, create clear accountability across the supply chain, when we're looking at EPR. But until there is greater consistency and alignment, policy will continue to be both an opportunity and a challenge for the industry, and it's not going away anytime soon. The pillars of conferences in the waste and recycling industry right now are lithium-ion batteries, policy, and AI. Safety factors in there somewhere. It's like the 1A of that. These conversations are ongoing. and we got to keep hammering the table until we get on the same page with things. A lot of this stuff should be a bipartisan issue. It's not, unfortunately. We're seeing different priorities set from different administrations, from different state by states, different areas of the country, and the ones that are moving fast are getting that kind of stuff out of the way, and the ones that are lagging behind will be behind for a long time. This stuff takes time, and it takes change. It takes those conversations. It takes conferences like this one to propel that. Conferences like the Waste Leadership Summit, which I'll be going to here soon, to talk to policymakers and make sure we're doing something. It's almost like, how you want to do stuff, but you just don't have the equipment to do it, the means to do it. Sometimes you just have to do it how you can. And sometimes you just have to take that first step. And that's kind of what we're hearing at a lot of these places. Of course, it requires a little bit more than that. And obviously money and local constraints get in the way. But it's time. It's time. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. It's time. Let's keep talking. Let's keep recapping ReMA 2026. That's what we're here doing. Thank you for listening. And key factor number 3 that I was speaking of, AI and technology. We're talking practical applications. AI, artificial intelligence, that's the automation. Central topics. The convention was, the conversation was notably grounded in what's going on. We're not talking about a hype machine. We're not talking about what's coming next and the heat death of the world through AI and Terminator-like applications. We're talking about real-world implementation that's happening today. That was kind of the crux of the conversation at ReMA, where we can't just keep looking at the future. We're using it now. AI is being used to improve sorting accuracy, identify materials more effectively, reduce contamination, optimize throughput and efficiency. Now, that's happening today. And we need to figure out how you're going to do that today, how you're going to use these tools today to make things better for you, your company, your region, your customers. But one of the key takeaways is that AI is not a standalone solution. It doesn't just do it. It needs us also. The effectiveness depends on several factors. That's data quality. AI systems, they rely on accurate, consistent data. Without it, performance suffers. So you make sure your data is in order. Operational integration. So technology needs to fit within existing workflows. If it's not integrated properly, the value is limited. So you can't just slap on an AI sticker and hope it works. It needs to work for your needs in your operation and your workflow. You have to try and train up the software to meet you, right? You can't just slap the AI sticker on it and get it to work. We need workforce expertise. Skilled operators are still essential. They'll continue to be essential. Technology supports decision making. It doesn't replace it. So your operators need to be skilled enough so that AI can come in and make their jobs better and safer, not looking to replace anybody, but understand that the AI doesn't know what to do if it doesn't know what to do. It's almost like training a new employee. You need these these skilled laborers to make sure that things are happening the right way. Because AI can mess up. AI can still get things wrong. So don't rely on it so heavily. Don't just start replacing human nature with it. Lastly is operational foundation. AI enhances strong systems, but it does not correct weak ones. You know, if your sorting system isn't where it needs to be, AI is just going to keep doing the bad stuff. It's just going to keep doing the stuff that is weak on your end. You need to fix yourself before AI can come in and start automating that stuff, right? You have to set it up for success. It's like, again, it's a new employee. You can't just give it a broken hammer and say, well, put this house together. No. The hammer's got to be working correct all together. I mean, a hammer works as best as your hand does, I guess, but like, you have to have the right tools for the job, and AI needs that. In practice, AI should be viewed as a tool that improves performance and scalability, not as a replacement for operational discipline. Speaking of those trends, it's important to know how these themes intersect. So we're talking lithium-ion batteries, creating immediate safety and operational challenges. Policy has the potential to address some of those issues, but remains inconsistent. And AI can help improve efficiency and detection, but depends on strong underlying systems. These are not independent challenges. They are interconnected, and solving them will require coordinated effort across technology, policy, and day-to-day operations. That's why conversations that are happening at ReMA, at Waste Expo, Compost, the resource recycling shows, Waste Leadership Summit, which is coming up in June, be there for that. These in-person conversations, sharing of ideas, learning from each other are so important. That is a step in the coordinated effort that we need to make sure that we're all online together. That we make sure we're all going through this in the same way to be more efficient, safer, and having better business, a better environment. You know, that's at the end of the day, that's what we're after. Sure, we want to make money along the way, but we got to deliver on the promise. So looking back across the conference, takeaways that stand out. Lithium-ion batteries, which I'm sure you're not tired of hearing of, are critical and a growing risk. One of the most immediate operational challenges facing the industry right now are these batteries. Policy remains one of the biggest source of uncertainty. Greater consistency will be essential for long-term investment and planning. AI is delivering value, but within its limits. Its success depends on data, integration, and operational strength. The industry is evolving, but not uniformly, not all at once, all together. Different strategies and different levels of adoption are creating a widening gap between operators. So, if I learned anything from the ReMA conference, ReMA 2026 in Las Vegas, is that Las Vegas is a pretty nice looking place in April. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. And the recycling industry is actively evolving, but the path forward is not fully defined. Addressing key challenges like lithium-ion battery safety, policy alignment, technology integration, that is all going to be critical to building a more resilient and effective system. And you know what? As always, Waste 360 will continue to cover these developments to bring insights from across the industry. So you can read all of my coverage at waste360.com. If you attended ReMA on your own and have your own perspective and takeaways, I'd love to hear it. If you have your other thoughts in the industry as well, I'd love to hear it. On any of these key moments from the show, let us know. Leave a comment. YouTube it. Spotify comments on a review. Leave a review for us on Apple iTunes. Wherever you get your podcasting. Whatever apps you're using. As always, for more coverage, analysis, and conversations just like the one I'm having into this microphone myself, go to waste360.com, subscribe to our newsletters, Find the other episodes of the podcast. Share this podcast and the previous ones with friends. There's plenty of topics for you to dive into that just because they're old episodes doesn't mean they're not relevant. They're still relevant. Still happening. So, hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for me rambling and trying to loosely follow a script I put together for myself to talk to you. I'll see you in the next episode. Remember, it's our world. Let's not waste it.